Okay, we'll cordially invite Sudhu Hamduro to present the questions. That will be the starting point of our today's question and answer session.
Anapanasati. Most Venerable Bhante, after 45 minutes of walking meditation, I sat to watch my breath. I started with "here I'm sitting" and found that I did not have to spend much time in observing the breath. I was in no thoughts zone. However, this time it was that I was experiencing the nothingness, which means I was just watching myself as an observer with the surrounding noises, but could watch the empty mind without getting disturbed. This was the first time I had an experience of this nature, as I normally get disturbed by noises. Earlier experiences were that I go into no thoughts zone, but then go into a state that my ears are blocked, like as if I was underwater. This was not experienced in this time, in this retreat. Please advise me whether I'm on the correct path, or if not, how to correct myself. May you achieve all your desires in this life itself.
As far as the emptiness is concerned, there are two types, pragmatically we can explain. You can have the mindfulness with no objects. That is theoretically we can explain. Mindfulness is intact, but there's no object as such. With compared to that other one, mindfulness is intact, so much of objects, but mindfulness is not concerned about anything. So these are the two situations whereby non-meditators, inexperienced meditators expect the mind will go to a place, there are no objects. So that is what does it mean by the emptiness or sunyata. And therefore they are expecting everything to go to absolute nothing. It will never happen on this earth. Only instead what you can happen, you can experience, you can reduce the grossness of the object or amount of the object to a certain extent, then it becomes bearable. And then you have to exert the disclaimer or disavow. Objects are there, it is not me, it is not mine, it is not my soul, self. And then again you get a distance from the existing objects. They are multivarious. They may be your primary object, they may be your posture, they may be your sounds, thought, pain, anything. But mind is not worry. The other main thing is not to worry. And if you are a theoretician or expecting the absolute purity, you will think the mind should go to a place where there are no objects. But that is not on this earth. Only you can do is you can reduce to a manageable area, a bearable area, and then you are happy because you know, you are aware, you are mindful, vigilant what is happening. So there is mind is not beyond control. And what is available is not under your control, but you utterly disclaim. This is not me, this is not mine, this is not myself. And then you can say the objects are there. Main thing is not to worry. And then, once you accept it, object may be something unbearable, still you are not concerned. That is the way you harden, you season it, you galvanize it, you develop catalytic effect. Your mind is the one searching for worries, searching for frustration. So they take refuge of the object and then make stories, claim. But if you know the art of disclaimer, if you know the art of disavow, and then you can understand objects are there, but they are not coming and smearing unless otherwise you go and invite. My presentation is, they can come and suggest. If you are not seconding it, they won't go to the minutes. 1001 suggestions are there. Minutes are made out of the seconded suggestions. So your bloody mind is the one seconding everything, so make them validated, and then you are the person making stories, complaint and charge sheets. Who cares? Whatever the charge sheet you make, who cares? You are the utter sufferer. So you have to learn the art. Main thing is, darling, not to worry. So it appears like you are irresponsible, you appear like you are avoiding, and people come and say, no, you can't say like that, you have to take responsibility. So who the hell can come and tell us that you are responsible? We came here for solitude, not to take care, sign the birth certificate of unauthorized children. No. You are eagerly signing in the cage where the father's name, telling this is my child. You don't know whether your wife conceived from you or not. Are you sure? No. These are all in illegal conceptions, conceiving. So therefore just have a disavow, disclaim, and it is not escapism, it is not escaping from your responsibility, because it is a kind of a training you have. It's a kind of a gradual training, and then only you can understand the objects can't live without your mind. But you will learn the art, your mind can live without object. That means not smearing, not seconding, not claiming me and mine. So therefore this says at the beginning, as I understand, claim that I got to a situation where mind is completely free, no objects, but later I understand objects are there. Am I going backward? Have my mindfulness become inferior? What is happening? This is the reality. This is the common sense. Even though you claim, you expect mind to be completely free for defilements, that absolute purity, not on this earth, only you can have relative purity. Daily, if it is increasing, after a while you have to still use the disclaimer, disavow, and then all you can say, objects are there, disturbances are there, frustrations are there, worries are there, but I am not claiming them. So no one can come and find fault with you. So the Buddha is giving that license. Reduce the meditation, reduce the object and frustration to the bare minimum, and don't expect furtherance, just see at that level whether you can disclaim. So to make this more pragmatic, I would put it this way. If you are taking a sitting posture, first you take not to make any intentions. Your 50% of your volitional activities, intentional activities, determinations, expectation, you restrain. So 50% you can cut off from the restraint itself, and then let things happen. When they are happening, our mind is jumping and taking everything. What is happening? You just observe, is it me, is it mine, or is it myself, or it's a metabolic actions, or it is something, the law of the nature. More you practice, you will understand if there is no intention or intentional contribution from you, things are happening. You are mere observer, so you don't know how to get the distance and observe. Instead you go and fork fingers. Then they become inflicting. So first cut off all the volitional activities, and then let the thing happen. And they are observe it like a person sitting by the river and not forking the fingers into the river, and you can see river is flowing, and see whether you are here or not, things are happening. That's why the unintentional things are happening. It's a song. It's a panoramic, aesthetic thing. And you learn the art, observe utterly, observe vigilantly, observe diligently, but never hold into that, never enter into that, never claim me and myself, and then you can understand this is what happened in each and every person. If you claim it, you suffer. If you disclaim it, you disclaim the suffering. So ultimately it is becoming an art. Whatever the thing people come and suggest, you are not rushing to second it. Or that is to say, evenly suspended attention and suspended decision. Evenly suspended attention and suspended decision. Don't rush to a decision. Say that I am accumulating more and more data, feasibility study, I am just not yet to a decision. So postpone the decision, increase the observations, then you understand the Taoism, that is the nature. This is the way it is happening. Everything has its own cause and effect relationship. As far as you are not deciding, you can see how things are happening. So, when such a thing happens, purposeful thing, willful thing, volitional thing you have done away, and everything happening is in the non-volitional, and there also you learn the art, the disclaimer, and there the mind as if it is empty, because even the things come and suggest, you never rush to a decision. So therefore, the second kind of thing, lot of objects are there. All the kind of multivarious, but nothing you claim. And then still you can have equilibrium just by not claiming or disclaiming. So that is the what the elderly people can't do it. Young people, they are very expert in it. Because no one is imposed them to take a decision, so they easily do away with the decision. They never claim. Even they shit on their panty, they don't claim. Even they urinate upon their clothes, who cares? If they vomit upon their clothes, they don't claim. Only the mother claims. So mothers are worried, but the children, they don't care. But when you become mother, you take the worry of the children as well as yours. So what will happen if you vomit now? So what a social problem, calamity. But for a child, nothing. Because they disclaim it. And you see birds are while flying, they shit. Nice flight. They can't fly with this shit. Their rectum is very short. No toilet papers, no drainage toilets, no Indian toilets. Disclaimer. So therefore you have to learn it, because this is our starting point of our civilization. Unwanted etiquettes and unwanted civilization. Therefore ultimately Sigmund Freud told it's a ambiguity of civilization. When you are living in the forest all alone, all gone. You are not answerable. You are not answerable as a father or mother or administrator or kind of thing. That is why the Buddha says, when I am traveling in the forest, for a 4 miles away area, if I can't see anything, behind also 4 miles area, no one is there, I can shit, I can urinate as I like. But do you know today, so much of undiagnosed diseases, because you are not urinating at a time. You are not going to the toilet at a time because of your standing on ceremonies. It's a disease no one can diagnose. And one manager, Sri Lankan one, went to Canada, and he is the manager in the hotel, but he used to go to the receptionist place, because receptionist is no good. So whenever he goes there, so much of visitors come, each and everyone is catered for. Ultimately he developed a disease, and kind of the liver and the kidneys failure, no one can diagnose. And the doctor questioned again and again and again, he told, when I am full tight for the pump, if the visitor is coming, I just compromise to wait another 15 minutes and finish that also and go to the toilet. And when it is going there, another person is coming. Ultimately, I don't know how many hours I am holding into, and the doctor told us this is completely emotional imbalance, because you are not going to the toilet for the first and the second job in time. And that is what you call the present day civilization. You are standing on ceremonies, ultimately you are ruining your complete emotional system and the the nervous system, so you don't know how it happens. So therefore the disclaimer, people impose you, no, you can't disclaim, you must do it. It's like a rigorous imprisonment. They are not your friends. They are the prison jail guards you are associated with. Kick them off. Mind you that I came here for my solitude, don't come and interpret terms and conditions. Solitude is first. So therefore when the suggestion comes, when the emotion comes, when the mental this thing happens, you must learn the art of disclaimer, art of disavow. And then once you learn it, no one will challenge you. And their problems are there, but you have to maintain your health, you have to maintain your integrity, no one is responsible. So after you come to a proper position, you can tackle it. Like let the objects come and go, you are not answerable for everything. So therefore, the second area, the letter, the essay is explaining, I think, your compromise into the common sense. And still keep aloof, keep a distance from the objects. And if you wish, you can take it. If you wish, you can keep it away. Then you become master. Otherwise, you are the slave.
Venerable Bhante, I started with Anapanasati as a primary object, but having a sensitive nose, I kept getting smells of the toilets, so I moved on to the abdomen, which I found easy to focus on, but later moved back to Anapanasati as I felt I must somehow develop the area between the nose and upper lip. After a while of meditating in that area, I realized that I had no sensation in my upper lip and the area above the upper lip. It felt like at the dentist after a job when the area becomes numb. I found the breathing very subtle and there were no smells. I became a bit concerned as to why that area seemed numb and had no feeling. So I bit the lip and it felt normal. If that happens the next time, how should I react, and will it spread a little more, the feeling of numbness? Is it a part of meditation? Thank you, with metta. Please advise me on how to interpret this and on how to progress further.
It's a very good account what is happening, because I can remember about maybe 7 to 8 years back, one person reported, so he or she is near a place where a smell is there. I can't remember what is the smell, and good or bad I can't remember. He clearly experienced, I feel the good or bad the smell only in the in-breath, not in the out-breath. Such a sharp observation. So therefore, when you are complaining a smell, bad or good, you don't know 50% you are released. But if you are complaining, you feel full-time bad, full-time complaint. And the second thing is, if you know that out-breath, no smell, only the in-breath. So 50% you are released only by the argumenting or rationalizing or deductive knowledge. And then, if you are more agitated, you are breathing very fast, so much of bad thing you are smelling. If you calm down, breathing is very shallow, even the in-breath is not much necessary, even the outside bad smell is there or good smell is there, you don't feel much. So therefore you have to understand, your mind never report whenever something normal. It reports only whenever something extraordinary, good or bad, and then makes story. That is called fabrication. That's called prapanchakarana or mental proliferation. And when you, even with that agitated mind, if you let it calm down, you see when the breath becomes very subtle, you are aloof from the air transaction, and the smell and other things are immaterial. And this letter, if you are to analyze, whenever you are paying the attention to the breath, rising and falling, the smell disappears. Do it in the soil, toilet shit, the pit has been closed and no smell. No smell is there, there is no person to feel it. There is no person to grumble with that. Because your attention is with the rising and falling. So therefore easily you can say, not the smell is disturbing you, you are the fellow disturbing the smell. Sounds also the same. You to get irritated, you must be really advert into that. You must really make fantasies, make stories, and then only you can complain. Instead, if you can turn into yet another channel, this thing is cut off. Imagine there's a television with the 6 channels. One thing is giving the very filthy things, or bad blue films. And there are other channels, they are showing the greeneries and all the kinds of... If you turn onto this channel which is showing the blue films, and if you are criticizing, what use? Either you have to shut out the bloody thing or change the channel. Then whatever may be ruining that channel, you are concerned. You are not concerned because you are now maybe looking at a cricket match. So you are the very person channeling, and you are the very person making complaints, fabrications. We can understand our mind is always searching a friction, always searching a tension, always searching a frustration. And the frustration, others are very happy to listen. And if I am going to say, oh, I also come here, I don't feel like any bad smell, then you will never listen to me. You want to listen that someone is complaining. That is how you are the bloody fellow promoting this media. If the media is unsocial because of your desire, they are only satisfy your desire, you are the person setting, so therefore you can't claim there's a media beyond you. You are part and parcel. It is depending on the supply and demand. So these are very good accounts, and asking what to do the next. Next time you are disturbing channel may not be the nose, it may be the tongue, it may be the body, it may be the eye, it may be the ear, and see, to get irritated, how much you must go there and take your share, take your quota. You are the very person that is decided by karmic forces, decided by your consciousness, decided by your food, and decided by the climate. There are 4 decisive factors here discussed, only the consciousness, but there are some karmic forces. Some people attracted to that because of their karmic propellants. And some people are attracted because of their feeding habit. Some people are there because of their climatic changes. So therefore, whenever something happens, if you deduce it, rationalize it, you can understand everything happened for their due causes and effects. And we always expect answer is outside. Then you are utterly lost. You have to understand, question is within you, answer is within you, because you are the only person can change the channel. From seeing to the hearing, hearing to the smelling, smelling to the taste. So if someone is getting irritated by the smell and going again and again on the same irritation of the smell, some kind of an intentional engagement to this irritation. So he or she had the potential, instead to change the shifting the attention to the other thing, the Buddha used it as asati amanasikara. If you know your sati is in the smell, if your manasikara is in the smell and it is irritating, put the asatiya there, unmindfulness to the smell, amanasikara adverting, don't advert into that, or not adverting you must go there. That means you are changing the channel to other one. So this is the way the yogis or practitioners, they know. Unless otherwise you have the theory and deductive knowledge as well as the experience, you find fault with outside. Always attribute to outside. And then you say, the world is round, therefore we must make it flat. Then every problem will be dissolved. It is called pedantic thinking. That is the poor mind. Untrained mind always try to make the world perfect, constitution perfect, others perfect. Then he or she thinks, I can go to Nibbana, because I can't go because others are not perfect. So therefore, let the irritation happens. Don't promote it for any sake. But whenever it is happening, read it carefully and see whenever you shift the attention, it is something. And still if you calm down, it is something. If you are to get irritated continuously, that is 50% due to your own focusing into that, adverting into that. Once you decide it, or once you realize it, it never happened through book knowledge, it never happened by belief, it has to happen under your very nose, often appear like a punishment, often appear like a unexpected thing. But if the Dhamma is working, out of that, it's a very beautiful Dhamma, very beautiful cause and effect relationship you can deduce, but it is unpredictable. It is not pre-planned, so it's a coincidence. So therefore, in the next time, when the channel, nose channel is irritated, try to change it to the another channel, one thing. Or otherwise, be aware of the irritation and then let the calm down. When the nose channel become calm down, it's a different story. So likewise, in the essay itself has two way outs. So please try either.
Bhante, did you want to address the second part of this essay? This writer is also talking about the numbness and saying if this numbness happens...
You may repeat specifically
Yes.
the second part.
After a while of meditating in that area, in other words, between the nose and upper lip, I realized that I had no sensation in my upper lip and the area above the upper lip. It felt like at the dentist after a job when the area becomes numb. I found the breathing very subtle and there were no smells. I became a bit concerned as to why that area seemed numb and no feeling. So I bit the lip and it felt normal. If that happens the next time, how should I react and will it spread a little more, the feeling of numbness? Is it a part of meditation?
No, that numbness is the label we can put into that. So whenever meditation happens, when there is no object, we label it as we fall into sleep. That's a label we know. But that area where the mindfulness is intact, no objects, you have never experienced it. So therefore you put the old label and you try to justify it. You are never happy to understand something unknown. So whenever the breathing becomes subtle, it is not the numbness, that the reaction or assuming nature reduced. So then appear like nose is there, smell also there, but not irritating. So you have to put a label for that, telling that maybe it is numb, or someone has cut off my nose, that kind of thing. This is the mind-made explanations. This is a magician. It can make anything. You are the very bloody fool listening and eating it. The Buddha says, please reconsider, let it happen again and again. It's not that nose is not there, not that the smell is not there, but the smelling, the irritation, the desirability and undesirability gone. You never expect. You never expect as the nose is there, as the smell is there, you can live without smelling. You never believe it, so that your lack of belief indicated by putting a known label. So this is the cheating mind. It says, I know everything, it must be come under the numbness. But this is not numbness, may not be. So next time when you go there, remove the label, don't put into a label or category or either, just observe. Nose is there, smell is there, but still there is no person irritated, no bad smelling, but the causes are there due to your preparedness. And don't hire any labels, don't hire any the naming or labeling, and consider this is something new. And whenever you understand the pleasurable feeling and no unpleasurable feeling, whenever you see no pain, no pleasure, you consider as numbness. No, it is not numbness. This is something new. Don't put the labels, keep it open. Then you are ready for the changes. You are ready for the anything to change. Putting label means you have fixation, crucifixion. And therefore the Buddha says there is nothing on the earth unlabeled. Everything we label. By labeling, you infiltrate it. It becomes filthy. It becomes defiled. Therefore, the Nibbana itself, whatever the name you are going to put, nothing fit into the Nibbana. It can't hold into a particular name. You can say it is unknown. So always you must be open. So therefore, please remove the name benumbed and again try to experience the same. Then you may experience without a name. That is something special. That is something new. So this is a very clear indication mind is progressive.
Most Venerable Dhammajiva Thero, my primary object is in and out breath, since of late, at home and at this retreat, when I sit for a meditation session, my breath settles down in 5 to 10 minutes and my body and mind is very calm. Breath is very faint, almost not distinguishable, and my mind goes into an empty space. If I am to describe it, it is a very bright, spacious emptiness. No thoughts come when I am in this state. I call this the no-mind state. I am fully awake and aware in this state. I am able to get back to the breath, too. If I am to draw my mind at this state, it would be like a straight line, no ups and downs. As advised by you, Bhante, I try to stay in this situation as long as possible. I have 2 questions. What exactly happens to the mind when I am in this spacious emptiness? Question 2. How do I progress from here? Much merit to you for valuable advice.
Question 2, you have to repeat, please.
How do I progress from here?
Yeah. The first question, when you are writing the sentence, how do I perceive my consciousness? Can you read the first question to get the words?
What exactly happens to the mind when I am in this spacious emptiness?
So, what happened to the consciousness, my consciousness? Is that consciousness and me 2 things or 1 thing? The sentence addressed to 2, 1 thing is consciousness, the other one is my mind. Does that particular person believe the consciousness and my mind 2 things, or me and the consciousness 2 things or 1 thing? That is from there only we have to seek the answer.
I think it is 2 things.
Yeah. So that is the question. That is not. There is nothing. That is the duality. When as far as you are in duality, it's a question. Mm. So the Eckhart Tolle is writing in this Tao physics. The power of now. He says he got a severe panic attack and he decided to commit suicide because no use. When it happened 2-3 days, it's utter torturing. So he decided to take sleeping tablets, to keep the sleeping tablets on the desk, and next time it is going to happen, I will commit. And morning 2 o'clock, severe panic attack came. So he thought, no consideration, he took the sleeping tablet and all the way he told, even I kill myself, the problem will be staying. And the second thought came, but anyway, I can't live with this bloody mind even for a split second. And then mind went on churning on the second sentence, I can't live with my consciousness another moment, I and consciousness 2 or 1. The panic attack went to the bursting level. My consciousness and me. I can't live with my consciousness. Am I the consciousness or consciousness me? 2 things or 1 thing. And then it is a severe panic and he forgot about the committing suicide and utter torturing came a blast, bright white light existing for 6 months. And he says all the 6 months he go to a garden places and sit and in the open air benches and see people. They are in such a tension and he feel completely relaxed. Then occasionally people come and ask, you appear very relaxed. How? Then when he's giving the answer, you have to be genius. Overnight he became a world teacher. Answering whether my consciousness, me and consciousness too, or who is asking the question? Bloody consciousness. Do you think the consciousness is asking for your benefit? For your well-being? It is churning, it is fabricating, it is keep on proliferating. So, answering this will be a beneficial without any kind of a practical, pragmatic value. So therefore you have to just analyze the grammar in the first sentence and see, are you addressing it to the two or one? So thinking the same thing into two is the function of the consciousness. Consciousness is always split and rule. They make two out of any same thing and fighting to each other. This is the American politics. This is what Americans are doing. In the same country, they make two groups and fighting each other so they can sell more weapons. And they say, we are supporting minority. I think that is the Western philosophy. Always they are supporting the minority, then the war is going on. This is a bloody change. My consciousness also very American. It is capitalist, so don't fertilize it. By giving answer, never, by analyzing, never lead to answer. It keep you on churning, keep you on proliferating, and see, is your consciousness, can I claim my consciousness as me, consciousness and myself is different or not? They are philosophical questions. So therefore, more than the content of the question, see the grammar. And next is asking what to do the next. So, to do the next, the present moment, you can understand, whatever the meditation you do, your defilement will never cease to exist. It will be reduced and put up with that. Live with that. Don't try to answer it. Answering means your whole peace of mind will be split. Go. So live with that tension. Live with that manageable irritation. Live with that manageable burning, manageable friction. Then you know. No one on the earth can answer it. If you think so, you are utter fool. Utter fool. So put up with this and don't come to the existence again, please. Say bye-bye and go. But wherever you come, it's always with problem. So therefore this, the early part of the essay indicates you are engaged in meditation, and let that meditation continue as far as you are in the present moment, your duty is fulfilled. But don't expect all the answers to be, all the questions to be answered, all the frictions to be reduced, or all the tension to be reduced. No. It can come up to the manageable level, then you have to say, that is enough. I just keep face to face with that, so much so, I am vigilant, I am diligent, I am mindful, but don't expect the perfection on this earth, never. So that acceptance is what you call, you become Aryans. You'll be uplifted, so you will never expect any perfections. So that means you are fit into anything, that he also had some mistake, you also have, I also have some mistakes. So we are all brothers and sisters, so nothing to find fault with you or others, because you are down to earth. So therefore, try to understand whether this consciousness is separating you and my consciousness, is it for your benefit, or this analyzing this kind of question will lead to any kind of thing. So early part is okay, except your two questions. Early part of your essay is okay, except these two questions. So edit it and read the early part, then perfect.
Thank you.
Sitting down meditation. Thero Nissarana, Most Venerable Bhante. Presently, the orchestra is comprised of not only the elementary characteristics, but also thoughts and feelings. Initially, swaying movements were observed, then a series of movements simulating a transparent bag full of earthworms. Wriggling was observed at the place where the body was located. There were other facets of elementary characteristics, but those were the most predominant and frequent ones. Now and then thoughts were observed, together with pleasurable and sad feelings. Thoughts were observed by the right side of the body. There was no perception of movements of the body while observing thoughts and feelings. When thoughts were just observing, they disappeared after a while, and then a gap of nothingness was observed, followed by readherence of the mind to the primary object, i.e. the body movements. All these were observed by the mindfulness which has become more distant and wider than before. It was like a CCTV camera fixed all the above. Greatly appreciate your valuable discussion and advice. May the blessings of the Noble Triple Gem be with you always.
So the orchestra in this retreat we defined as 4 elements. So we call materiality. Once you accept it, the drama, the everlasting drama of these 4 elements, then the mind is quite mature, then it see non-materialistic part of the orchestra. The non-material part is the emotions, thoughts, likings and disliking, personality. They also, there's their own drama, but it is not material. It is immaterial, it is called nama. And they are also, earlier you think this is my core, myself, this is I am. This is who am I. Materiality is not there. But when you skillful in the materiality, if you apply the same principle to the so-called non-materialistic part, they are also working according to their own agenda. Its agenda is exactly like the 4 elements. But unless otherwise you have the under-the-nose experience and maturity to the materiality, you can't think about the immaterial part, the nama part. But once it is there, you want to be prepared and go there, let that emotions to happen. Thinking happens, liking and disliking happen. If you be choosy, you are the culprit. If you know the choiceless awareness, you get the distance. If you have the evenly suspended attention of the materiality as well as the mentality, then you can understand they are dancing according to their cosmic law and they are not expecting any command from you. They have already pre-edited form, pre-edited DVD. You can't edit it, you can just observe it. And then you go to the deep layers of the mind, it's not the superficial layers, subconscious layers, then you see when the materiality is concerned, yourself, your liking and disliking, your individuality, which much more concerned. But when you go to the mental part, or non-materialist part, it is the humanity. You are merging into the universal consciousness. You find each and everyone is equal in this immaterial part. If you claim this is me, you suffer. If you claim this is the nature, is the law of the principle, then you are privileged observer, distance observer. And you see incessant, not given the split second rest for you. So it is happening, only release is disclaimer. Netamama neso amasminna meso atta. This is not me, this is not mine, this is not myself. And when you more and more apply it, ultimately that drama, ultimately this symphony become melodious. It will become aesthetic. And you can understand how the people make out of, say, suffering out of that. By claiming. See, this electricity is running. 230 voltage. They are fast moving. 50 hertz. What happens if you touch it? You start shivering. But otherwise they are very beneficial. They are working their own tasks. Some people are cooling, some electricity are heating, some electricity are shaking, some electricity is used to stabilize. They can do anything unless otherwise you touch it. Moment you touch it, you have nothing to pay for the crematorium. Then and there everything is finished. So let them run. Electricity is beneficial as far as you use it through the switchboard. But we claim, materiality is me, mentality is me. Whenever you claim is suffering. So therefore apply the same principle, the 4-element orchestra. Now it is going to the non-materialistic part. And now your spectrum is very wide. You can understand this is exactly what in the Buddha, it's exactly what in Devadatta, exactly what in me, exactly what in the enemies. Those who claim it, they are just like touching the 230 current. Those who are disclaiming, they can make use the electricity for your services. So that is how you have to use the hand glove. When you are tackling electricity, the Buddha used the faith, the morality and the mindfulness is like an insulator, hand glove, and if you put the hand glove and touch it, nothing happens. And there you can develop the mastery. So therefore, first you acquainted with the materialistic part and you see the orchestra. If you wish to reduce, you can reduce into the 4 elements. But if you go through that the same token, if you go to the mentality, exactly the same. Only thing is non-material, and if you wider enough your scope and you are ready for this radical reflection, you can understand the human mind. Not that you are understanding your mind, you understand the human mind. So therefore, even though you are practice as an individual, or we can be a very selfish kind of practice, the understanding is not selfish. It is very wider. So apply the same principle like the materiality, and whenever your mind is mature enough, ready to accept it, you can disclaim, without my involvement of the self, the drama is going on. Just get a choiceless awareness, evenly suspended attention, and the distance observation. Then your petrol is not being asked, your exertion is not there. Thing will happen, then only the drama will be natural. Otherwise you are forking fingers and that become disturbed. That is how you suffer. When the drama is happening completely autopiloting, you accumulate no demerits, accumulate no karmic forces, then and there it is gone.
That was the last question.
So today I am not going to ask whether there are any more questions, because today is our AGM. So downstairs, now they are waiting for me at the 2 o'clock. So if that meeting is going to end by 1 hour, I may come back here for the sitting. Otherwise you may take, because after 1 year's time I hope it will not be ending by 1 hour. Because AGM is happening once a year, so I will take time. Anyway, even if I am not, may or may not come at the 3 o'clock, but 5 o'clock we will be meeting here for the Dhamma talk. You may continue the timetable as usual. Thank you very much for listening.